Hello all. How goes it? Welcome to the tavern. You'll sit down, pull up a stool, grab an ale. Let's do this, bitch. Today I've been very intrigued by a game I've been playing. It's a game called Exanima, like Exanima, however you pronounce it. It's a very interesting game. It's essentially a physics-based dungeon crawler, but the physics on the game are just very, very interesting, because everything you have in your inventory and everything in the world, you can just click on it, pick it up and move it, and it transitions from 2D inventory to 3D item without any sort of seamlessly. Absolutely amazing. Plus it's just hard as fuck. Just tough as nails. There's no forgiveness. So the fact that it's actually a what's it called? There's a word for this. Fuck it, whenever you die, your save gets deleted and you have to start again. Which is very unforgiving, since you can die in this game very easily from just the most basic of enemies swinging slightly faster than you. Them just getting a cheat, like a lucky shot on you, and it just absolutely bollockses you. It's just madness. Absolute madness. So, fucking hell. So, I should be back in just a moment. I do apologise for that, ladies and gentlemen. There's a unfortunate circumstance. But yes, I thought, today I might talk about the Souls series in general. The Souls series is a very interesting series. I got my start off in Dark Souls, as I imagine a lot of people did. Demon Souls was a bit, not many people knew about it. It wasn't exactly the most advertised thing. It was always just one of those things that's like, it's alright, but no one really knew about it. It's like the it's like the Kingsfield games. They weren't exactly something that a lot of people knew about. It was just one of those things of like, Demon Souls wasn't that popular due to the fact that it was essentially brand new. No one knew what it was. And anyone who did play it was like, oh yeah, this game's like hard as fuck, oh it's really, really cool and all this shit. And so that would put off players. And Dark Souls comes out, and is more widely advertised, and is also on a lot more consoles It's on PC, it's on consoles, instead of it just being locked exclusively to PlayStation. So, you know, Dark Souls had a lot more of a chance, and I remember specifically jumping in on Dark Souls, thinking, oh, this is I've been told by my mates that this is a cool game. I'd have a jump on it, you know. Just have a go. I got my shit pushed in immediately. It was just absolutely fucking, like, abysmal. It was abysmal. Like, I barely even made it into the game before, like, you know, I just gave up. Because, you know, because I was young at the time. But I came back to it. And I did persevere. I never finished it when I was younger. But I did. Hello, Whiskers. How goes it, sir? I've just been recanting tales of Dark Souls. It's been very interesting. Been recanting the tale of my first experience with Dark Souls. I also did mention a game I've been recently playing called Ex Anima, which I would highly recommend. I'm doing splendidly, Mr. Whiskers. Where have you been, Whiskers, you bastard? You fucking left me high and dry. Yes, Ex Anima, but it's actually one word. It's not two words. It's like Exanima, like that. It's like Exanima rather than Ex Anima. I just seem to, like, sort of pronounce it phonetically because it's easier to pronounce. Yes, it's a very interesting. It's like a physics-based dungeon crawler. It's on early access from Steam. From what I understand, it's been on early access for quite a while, actually. And it's a very interesting game because the physics of it are rather interesting. Like, the whole gameplay scenario itself is rather interesting. Because, for example, like, you can interact with any object in the world. In the dungeon, you can just click on it, move it, and drag it. Yeah, you can just click on anything you want, move it and drag it. But there's certain things, obviously, that, you know, they're unrealistic for you to be able to pick up. You know, if you you want to pick up like a massive box, you can't do that. But like, if you want to pick up almost anything, like weapons, like items on the ground, everything has physics, and actually the physics are often used in puzzles. For example, there's a puzzle where you have to pull a lever, it opens some doors, and, you know, hides some traps, specifically so you can walk down a hallway. Now the thing is, that lever eventually, you know, resets and everything, you know, all the traps open again and the doors shut. So how do you think you're going to do it? And the game actually lets you just figure it out, of that you can just get a chair and just jam it under the lever and it holds it open. You know, it holds it in the on position. And also it does have a physics thing in the sense of that 3D objects in the world, you can pick them up and put them in your inventory and they turn instantaneously into a 2D object, and vice versa. So any object in your inventory, you pull it out of your inventory, instantly turns into a 3D object in the world. I don't know, it's got such a, like a, I don't know, a very interesting way it's doing its. As I said, it's an early access game, so, you know, it's not quite there yet, but it's still very interesting. And also, it's scary as fuck somehow. It's genuinely quite a spooky game, because you can't see from room to room. So when you open a door, you have absolutely no idea what's on the other side of that door. and everything's dark, so you require a torch at all times. Otherwise, you ain't seeing anything. So as I said, it can be a very spooky game. I will say, I've been spooked by it a little bit. Looks like a game my brother would enjoy. Oh, je spooky it a bit. What kind of games is your brother into, Mr. Whiskers? I love the fact that some people call you Albert. Why? With a name like Albert Whiskers, of course you're gonna call them Whiskers. Like, why wouldn't you do that? I am absolutely fucking chuffed that I've been able to fix the stream lag issue, like, entirely. I've been streaming for 15 minutes, and I've had not one alert saying that you've dropped frames, which is that's dazzling, that is. And I've also still got the music too. So he likes kind of horror-ish stuff as well as puzzle-style games. It's not really a puzzle game. This is the thing, is that it's not really a solid puzzle game, but it has puzzles in it. It's more about the sort of dungeon crawling aspect of looking around and just sort of like for example, when you just start in a room. And when I first played it, I walked out of that room without a weapon. That was a mistake, because I didn't realise where the weapons were. They're just around. Like, you can just pick up almost anything and say, oh, that's a weapon now. The first weapon it gives you is just like a piece of metal. That's your weapon. Yeah, so it also sounds like something he would enjoy to figure out. Yes, that is probably true. If he likes that kind of stuff. I think if I remember correctly, it was £10.99 over here. And I think that translates to about $13 to $14, I believe. It's not the most expensive game going. So you definitely... Well, you've only got a limited inventory, Mr. Whiskers. So you literally cannot pick up everything. You kind of have to be, a bit more frugal about where. Yeah, as I said, I was thinking about that sort of thing. They thought of you. Of course they did. But I think I'm going to move on from Exanima, mainly due to the fact that it's probably best not to talk about this in the whole last stream. I was actually meant to be talking about Dark Souls today. My initial sort of experience with Dark Souls was that I played the first one. I played Dark Souls. Didn't play Demon Souls because I didn't have a PS3. And I went into it unprepared. I just thought, oh, it's going to be some cool game, like oh, I'm going to be able to play this, I'm going to be able to, be a knight, I'm going to be able to swing a sword, I'm going to be able to kill monsters, it'd be so cool. That was a fucking mistake right there. I went into it with the wrong idea. I gave up on it pretty quickly. And when I came back to it, I did actually get further into the game. But I never actually finished it. I have finished it now, but I never actually finished it when I was younger. And so as a result, it was a whole thing. I ended up playing Dark Souls 2. I ended up finishing that one, but that one is a slightly easier game. That one was a bit more approachable. Yes, I got DS1 as a gift when I was like 10, so I quit pretty fast. Came back once I turned 17. Hey, not bad. I'm assuming you're in your early 20s, so you know, so it probably isn't that long ago. Absolutely loved it, yeah. This is the problem. Everyone says this. Everybody says this about the Soul series, is that they go, oh yeah, it's brutal, it's all this, it's all that. But the thing is, that kind of frightens people off. People often can't see the good things because every website is saying like, oh, it's the hardest game going, it's the Dark Souls of the Souls games. It's just one of those things that kind of turns people off. But when there's so much more in there, you know, an interesting, you know, game and fight system, you know, of some decent and balanced challenge. Not the worst, but like, you know, there's some in there. Like, if you want complete unfair stuff, just play like stuff like Unfair Mario or some shit like that. Like that's bullshit difficulty. It does indeed. It was truly wards people off from the franchise. That's what I mean. They're kind of gating it off, saying that you have to be a hardcore gamer to play it, when in reality you don't. You can just play it. And a surprising amount of people say that the Souls players they're toxic. Now, don't get me wrong. A certain sect is. A certain sect of them is. But not all of them. A good chunk of them are the coolest people you ever meet. They'll help you with anything. There's a whole system in the games of people being summoned in specifically to help you. And there's so many people out there that are so willing to help. I hear that about us as well as they're assumed to surpass Halo fans for toxicity. I don't really see it. Again, you do get the absolute arseholes who you know, kind of spoil it for everyone else. But it's just one of those things. Is that, you know, it's a game. Every game has got its arseholes. Literally every game in existence has those toxic players. Any game with multiplayer at all, like specifically, has toxic, you know, meta-hugging, idiot players who just enjoy fucking everyone else over. And a lot of people can never see past that. And I feel like that's a tragedy. Because so many of these games are absolutely fun as fuck to play. But they're being spoiled by those players. You know a multiplayer game that I played and I thought was very fun, and it died too quickly because, you know, that not many people were interested in it. Like, Whiskers, have you ever played the Arkham games? You know, Batman Arkham Asylum, City, things like that. There was in Arkham Origins, there was a multiplayer for it. You typed that a bit too quickly, didn't you? You just went, love them AKL. You typed a bit too quickly there, you got a bit hasty. But yes, there was a multiplayer for Arkham Origins that I thought was very fun to play. Because it's a 3-way multiplayer. You know, Yes, there was, Whiskers. There was a multiplayer for Arkham Origins. It was a 3-way multiplayer. One team plays as the Joker's gang, the other team plays as Bane's gang, and then the third team plays as Batman and Robin. And the whole point is that, you know, each one of them is trying to fight for themselves. And it was rather interesting. Like, you could customize your guys, like, to your specific tastes. You could... It was so much fun. It was absolutely... It was fun as fuck to play. But it died very quickly because not many people were interested in it. Like, if I had one fucking wish from a genie, it'd be to revive that game. Revive the multiplayer on that. Yeah, it was very sad that it died out. It just didn't have enough interest. There was actually plenty of games. This is the weird part. There's so many games that had multiplayer, but they had no exposure. Like, no one knew about them because no one cared. For example, The Last of Us, that had multiplayer. Like, the first game had multiplayer. I think the second one did too. But the first one definitely had multiplayer. But no one knew about it because it was attached to The Last of Us, a game that everyone... Yeah, Uncharted 3 had co-op. Well, I'm talking like multiplayer, like playing against other people rather than working together. You know, because there's just a versus mode. That's what I mean. Is like that's the kind of thing I'm talking about, like an actual versus mode against other players. Because co-op is there's so many games that have co-op. Like that's less of an interesting thing. But like there was so many weird games that had a versus multiplayer. It was absolutely strange. Oh, how are you liking the new sort of splash, the new screen, the new sort of main screen? Because I've actually I created a end screen too, and the end screen in of itself is a joke. But I was just slightly worried that no one would get it. But enough about me. Enough about me and my nonsense. How are you doing today? How the music side. As I said, I fixed the music situation. Because instead of having the music like just playing it off of YouTube, straight off YouTube, I downloaded it. I downloaded it off of YouTube using a program to basically just rip the video out of YouTube. Panda helped me with this one, and then I was able to rip the audio exclusively out of the video and just put that in there. So it's playing the music. It's playing the background, the ambience, but it's also not taxing my computer because it's only playing the audio. I'm kind of tired. I haven't slept as much this week because of exams and stuff. However, I'm still doing quite well, all things considered. That is good to hear, Whiskers. That is good to hear. But you should be getting more sleep. You should be trying to get more sleep. Like, exams are pointless if you end up, you end up having to go to the hospital or something due to like lack of sleep. Little upset since one of my professors told me some things would be on exam and they weren't there, so I wasted hours studying absolute nonsense. He's fooled you there, he's pranked you. He's just be like, ah, nah, yeah, that's gonna be on there. Nah, it's not. I'm thinking about setting up a schedule for these streams. Hello, Slimes. How goes it? He said it to my face. Yes, I'm thinking of setting up somewhat of a schedule for this. I think 8 o'clock is a good solid time. A time for this. It's not too late in the day and it's not too early. I'm doing very well, Slimes. How are you doing yourself? That's good to hear, Slimes. I would call you God of Slimes, but that's a whole thing. I don't want to have to say that every time, so I just call you Slimes. I think everyone else does it too. It's like I don't call Whiskers like Albert Whiskers. Well, other than the fact that occasionally saying Albert Whiskers. You like the schedule? It is. I'm thinking 8 o'clock. My time is a good sort of time slot to have. I'm just trying to figure out sort of days for more scheduling. So like, you know, I stream on Tuesdays and Thursdays, something like that. You know, trying to pick a good sort of days to do it, because recently I've just been doing it basically every day except for yesterday. Albert Whiskers is indeed a mouthful. As I said, I do occasionally enjoy saying it. My name is Red. What do you mean your name is Red? You just docked yourself. Is your name actually Red? I don't really. We're having none of that, Whiskers. Oh, I did find a good name for the streams. When I typed Albert Whiskers, my name turned red. Do you mean your name, like, on the chat? As in, like, your actual sort of username part? Or when you typed Albert Whiskers? Because if you type out your full name... No, what I mean is, if you type out your full name, like your proper username, it highlights it for you because it thinks someone is talking about you. They're trying to at you, so it highlights it for you. So I think that might be what that is. Yeah, Whiskers, if YouTube's thinking that you're doxing yourself, I can't be having that on this channel. You might have to ban yourself. Slimes, you can be my new moderator. Oh, I didn't know. Anyways, carry on. I'm assuming you mean carry on. I've kind of lost my train of thought at this point. Yes, I played Dark Souls 2 when it came out. Like, I got the game when it came out. Because, like, at that point, I'd actually, you know, built back up to... You can barely hear me, though. That's weird. Okay, I can turn myself up slightly. I've turned up the gain slightly. I am speaking directly into the microphone. I can just put the microphone in my mouth, if that helps. That's probably a bad idea, actually. I can see that I'm going in the red on my end. But don't eat the microphone. But it's spongy. Um, yes, Dark Souls 2 was one of those games. I did play it when it came out. Like I got it for myself when it came out, and I quite enjoyed that. I played it all the way through, finished it first try. Didn't give up halfway through and start again. Start again another time. Like, no, I actually finished it. And am I talking about DS2? Yes, I'm talking about Dark Souls 2. You'd think you'd actually be able to pick up on that by the fact that I said Dark Souls through like 3 times, but I'm joking around, Slams. I'm joking around. I'm just kidding around. But yes, as I said, I quite enjoyed Dark Souls 2. It always has a bit of a sort of nostalgic place in my heart. You only played the first and the third game. That's fair. That's 2 is interesting because it wasn't made by the normal team. It was made by the B team, which sounds like an offshoot of the A team. But I wonder who B.A. Baracus would be in that one. But anyway. Sorry, I'm just showing my age again. Don't look, I've shown my age. No. But yes, it was definitely a very interesting game. 2 is the most debated one. I personally didn't enjoy it, but many did. All of you up to you there. Yeah, that's what I mean. Dark Souls 2 is kind of like the Marmite of the Dark Souls games. In the sense of that some people enjoy it, some people don't. And it's really up to preference. It's just one of those things. I can talk about number 3 if that would interest the slimes in the audience. I personally liked 3 when I first played it, but going back to it, I found tricky. I don't know. I tried playing it at some point, like not too long ago, and I found it tricky to sort of get back into it. I felt the game, I felt its age. If that makes any sense to you. I bought the third to play with a friend, and they wanted to play with me, but they gave up. That happens way too often with people. Like I've downloaded games, I've bought games specifically to play with people, and either they just didn't even show up in the first place, or they just gave up very quickly, and so I'm just stuck with this multiplayer game that I probably won't play myself personally. Yeah, for some reason 3 is impossible to replay, but 1 is perfectly fun. Yes, I don't know what it is about the third game. It's in this weird sort of like middle ground between the old games and like Elden Ring. It's like pre-Elden Ring game. It was literally the game before Elden Ring. Yeah, so many games are a lot more fun. Well, basically any game. Almost any game is fun with friends. Doesn't matter what it is. You could play Farming Simulator in co-op if it had one. I don't know if it has one. And that game would probably be fun as fuck to play. Who buys these games? You know who buys the Who buys these like farming simulator games? You know, these like football games, these sports games. There was this invisible mob of people that turns up every time and keeps demanding more of them. Actually, describing it as pre-Elden Ring is accurate. Yes, I'm aware, Whiskers. You don't have to sass me in my chat. You don't have to sass me in my own chat. My father bought Farming Simulator. My dad is continuously, like, wanting me to buy golf games because he used to play golf, like, a lot. And now he doesn't anymore because, you know, he's a bit on the older side. And so he's continuously saying, like, oh yeah, has it got any, like, good golf games on this thing? And I'm just like, yes, but I'm not buying them. Farming Simulator's got co-op and crossplay. Why does that have crossplay? Why does, like, the coolest games ever not have crossplay? But then the dumbest stuff possible has crossplay. My uncle buys literally every Madden game. It confuses me. Yes, that's what I mean. Is like who is this invisible mob of people that like fund these games every year? Because it's like every year there's one of them. It's not like, oh no, they come out every couple of years. No. They're literally, it's like they number themselves as like Farming Simulator 2019, 2020. You know, they come out every year, and I don't get it. I don't understand what's happening. It's so weird. Also, didn't mean to sass. Oops. I was joking around. I'm always goofing me personally. We're a gaming family here. When I was young, my father used to invite his friends to play Diablo 2. They all brought their PC too. Ah, yes, a classic LAN party. Oh, that's nothing beats a good LAN party. Nothing beats it. You can't beat it. You can't beat it. You know, I'm going to tell you a story from my childhood. When I was younger, I actually do remember the advertisements for the Xbox 360. I remember reading about it. And then it came out. And I was still on the PS2 for a long time when it came out. Like I was playing like the PS2. You know, like the PS3 and the Xbox 360 came out. I was still playing the PS2 for a long time because that's the console I had. And eventually I was like, you know, one of my friends just went, oh yeah, there's this like really cool place you can go to, called Box Zone, where essentially the guy had set up, like, I think it was about 10 360s, and you could just like rent the room for like as long as you wanted. And they had like, you know, bean bags, he had snacks, like you could think. He was the coolest guy possible. And he had all sorts of games you could play, like loads of copies of them. Me and my mates went there, and it was essentially like a LAN party because we were playing like, you know, like Left 4 Dead, for example. We played like Left 4 Dead and shit like that, and we were all just sat right next to each other. So like we were co-oping, but we were like right next to each other. It was so much fun. That place shut down eventually due to the fact that, like, you know, everyone just had their own consoles. So like what was the point of a place such as itself when everyone could just buy the console themselves and play online? But it was cool when it was, when it was around as a sort of thing. The guy himself, I remember him being like really cool. He was a really friendly guy. Yes, the Mega LAN party. Yes, I do quite enjoy Left 4 Dead. It's one of those like sort of personal like nostalgic games for me. Specifically, well, for one, that reason, and also playing it a lot myself. Like, aside from that sort of the box zone stuff, playing it a lot myself. It was just such a fun game. I actually do have Left 4 Dead 2 on my computer, which I do occasionally play, and I remember watching a stream on I like Back 4 Blood. Some people don't like it though. That's fair. That is fair. It's. I think most people didn't like it because it was touted as being the new Left 4 Dead. But the problem is that it was very different in its approach. So it didn't work quite as well. I think people didn't really, enjoy it. I think a lot of people, the advertisements, the things for it, they didn't, they didn't hit on the money that this isn't exactly like Left 4 Dead. People were thinking it was Left 4 Dead 3. This is Left 4 Dead 3 being made by someone else. It's not. It's just like a Left 4 Dead like, like a Souls-like. It's a Left 4 Dead like. It's a similar approach, which is fair. I played it personally, and I didn't really enjoy it because I do enjoy the older games. I think I enjoy them a bit more than the sort of newer approach. But whatever. It doesn't really matter. You can have your preferences. You can enjoy a game. I can not enjoy a game. It doesn't really matter. But yes, there was. I was watching a stream that I'm a moderator on this channel, and I was talking. I was talking in the chat. Watching the chat, all that stuff. And they were playing Left 4 Dead. They were playing Left 4 Dead 2, and they were just like, "Oh, you want to hop on?" I was like, "Oh, sure." And we just played Left 4 Dead, like live on the channel, and I was just like, "Well, that was fun. That was fun. I have not played it in ages. Like I had to boot it up again and everything. It was really fun." And so it's just like, it just hit that nostalgia feels for me. It just, I don't know, I felt like it, made me feel made me feel some type of way. Oh, I do remember, on the Tuesday stream for Panda, I said that I could do a solid Rykard voice. I could simulate Rykard, mimic his voice a little bit. I can do that for you today, live on stream, if anybody is interested. Oh yes, Rykard. Yes, as I said, I can do something. As I said, if anyone's interested, I can do the Rykard voice for people. Not sure how it's going to sound through the mic, but sounds of it. Do it. Sorry.
Join the Serpent King's family. Together we will devour the very gods.
That wasn't my best. That wasn't the best. I've done it better. I think my throat's a bit fucked up right now. I've done it better. I should advise, if anyone is going to try anything like that, don't hurt yourself. You can easily hurt yourself doing that. It can really mess with your throat. Another nostalgic game for me is Heroes of Might and Magic, and we would do hot seat games. That sounds like fun. I've never personally played. No worries, sounded a bit Smeagol plus Rykard. As I said, my voice is a bit bollocks today. Civilization 4 and 5. Ooh. Let's all do a LAN party right now. Come to Canada, let's go. I'm on my way, I'm buying me tickets right now. Let me have a bash on the other line. You know when Rykard kills you, he says like, we will devour the gods together. I think I'll give that one a bite. I've always been better at saying that one because it's more coherent.
We will devour the gods together.
Oh fuck, my voice is so fucked today. Oh fuck, I I'm letting yours down now. I promised something, and I'm failing to deliver now. I don't think I can fit it into my schedule, Slimes. Oh, come on, Weskers. Weskers. Come on, Weskers. You can fit that in. Come on, be cool. Be cool. Don't worry, Jake, don't harm yourself. Well, that's what I was saying, is like, that's why you don't want to force it. That's why I only had one bash on it. I didn't really, I only had like one bash on each. I didn't immediately try and do it again, because you don't want to hurt yourself. Like, that can very easily happen. I've heard of like singers like who do harsher vocals, and they've come off a stage, and their throat is actually bleeding, because of how much strain they put it under. So, you know, ladies and gentlemen, do not put your voice under any amount of strain. It is not a good idea. I just remember the first time I played Halo, it felt like such a magic feeling. I do know what you're on about with the Slimes. I played Halo at school, which sounds like a very interesting thing, because we were in the IT classes, and my mate just went, hey, I've got Halo on my computer. I'll show you how to do it. And he shows me how to do it. And everyone in the class were playing Halo. Let's see. Anyone here played the War for Cybertron series? It sounds familiar, but I don't think I personally played it. Mr. Weskers. I'm just going to call you Weskers now. I never personally played it, but I'm aware of it. Go, give us your insight on it, Mr. Whiskers. You are correct, Slimes. It is Transformers related, which I'm surprised Ink didn't just appear by someone mentioning Transformers. She's quite into Transformers. Wait, is Ink is she streaming right now? I don't know. I have to check. I feel like if she is streaming right now, I feel kind of like a dick. You know, stealing her time slot. No, she's not streaming right now. Okay. I just wanted to make sure I wasn't. I don't want to like stream over somebody. I really don't want to have to do. I don't want to do that, because I feel like that's not gonna. She isn't Whiskers. She isn't. She's not streaming right now. I think I was slightly fooled, because on my Steam thing it said that she booted up Rain World, and so I thought, oh, is she streaming right? You know, she's streaming. She might just be playing the game. You know, playing it off stream, betraying us all. Let's see. Yes, I really love the series. The first part was all on Cybertron, and it was an interesting system where each mission you could pick 3 different characters. And the second part just had a darker world, but they cut off the three different characters thing. Darker as in the world is literally ending. Slimes. I thought about streaming before, but I felt like it would be too much work and I gave up. All I can say, Slimes, is you do have to have a certain amount of conviction to do streaming. I'm just some bum schmo. I'm nobody's, but I've been able to set up get something going. Like on my shitty little laptop. So it doesn't. There's obviously everyone on the Panda Cord will is willing to help if you do want to try, if that's something you want to pursue. Like I can help out in however I can. If that's something you really want to pursue, I can help out. Everyone else on the Panda Cord will help out. it's doable. It just depends on what you want to do. For example, I wanted to start off. I wanted to do sort of like more. Maybe do some like watching some videos, playing some games. But it wasn't in the cards because my computer's just not good enough to handle that. But I've been able to wind it down to being just chatting streamer, which seems to be working. Try not to laugh, Jake Edition. when I don't want to laugh, you ain't making me laugh. But I do tend to have a good chuckle about things. But I think I should probably start winding this down. We're close to the hour. I'm going to try and make these an hour. I feel like no one's going to watch 3 hours of me talking. An hour, I think, is about enough. Plus, our own resident Albert Whiskers has class. You bastard. Abandoning me in my hour of need. But I think an hour. I think an hour is a good solid time slot. A solid hour of a nice chill stream for everyone to just, Hour is God. Hour is God. Yes, I think an hour is a good solid time slot. It's more now trying to figure out when, like what. Like we figured out the time, like when I'm going to start. We figured out the amount of time. I just need to figure out what days. Like, what kind of scheduling do I want? Do I want to do one every day? Because I feel like, no, that's a bad idea. Or do I want to do one, like, once a week? That doesn't seem good enough. Yes, let's quick. There's 5 minutes left. Let's go on. Let's get this speed rack this conversation. Okay. Go on, throw some quick. You got 5 minutes. Throw as many questions as you can at me, and I'll answer them as quickly as I can. Accounting for stream delay. Accounting for stream delay. So, do you know the planet is made of atoms? I did there, Mr. Whiskers. Do you guys have the Master Chief Collection? I do not, personally. I don't. Come on. We've got minutes left. You need to throw as much as possible at me. You need to cause me to have a... Have you played Minecraft? I have played Minecraft. I remember playing it on... I think my phone at one point. I played it on my phone quite religiously at one point. This was a long time ago. What's my cat's name? My cat's name is called Lucky. He's a fluffy black cat. What's your favourite breed of cat? I don't really know the breeds personally, and so I don't really have an opinion on like the breeds themselves. I like the one I've got, which is a domestic long hair, I believe. Have you ever played Uncharted? I played 1 and 2, and I didn't really like them. Like I played all the way through 1 and 2, and I didn't really like them, so I didn't carry on. But I may do in the future. Have you gotten to the end without cheats in Minecraft? No. Do you like noodle soup? Not really. I've never really tried it personally. What is life's greatest illusion? Oh fuck! I know the answer to this. No, you can't do this to me. No, don't lock me out of the Dark Brotherhood Sanctuary. I know what it is. No. It's like death, isn't it? Is it death? Can I come into the sanctuary? No. What is your mother's name, Dane? Your first street address and your first girlfriend, your first pet. I can tell you some of that. My first goes, damn it, innocent, you bastard slimes. You bastards. You fucking... No. Go on, I've earned it. Go on, let me in. Let me into the Dark Brotherhood Sanctuary. Um, yeah, I can answer the pet one. My first pet was a hamster called Fidget. Also your bank. No, Whiskers. No, it's not happening. Hamster. Yes, I had a hamster. I've had several hamsters. I had 2 hamsters, and then, well, 2 separate hamsters, like not like 2 hamsters together, because you can't do that to Syrians. And then I had 2 gerbils that lived together, but one of them died, and it was very upsetting because the other one was still alive, and they're very social creatures. How did the hamsters die? They both died of old age, actually. They both just died of being old, essentially. Fidget, he just, one day I just cracked open his cage to see where he was, and he was dead. And then the next one after that was called Bandit. He was a little sort of black and white Syrian. Oh, he was adorable. He looked like a little Frisian cow. And again, something similar. He was, he died due to things like. Ever had a mice pets before? And yes, did they ever escape and reproduce super fast, leading to a massive? So I've never had mice specifically. I've wanted rats in the past, but this was at the point when I was living with my parents. My mum just said no. My mum was okay with a lot of fucking things, but apparently rats was too much. I had a pet fucking leopard gecko. I had 2 pet tarantulas. I had a fucking, like, an axolotl, but apparently a rat is too much. Slam's a little specific there, speaking from experience. Speaking from experience, how did that happen? I'm assuming the mouse got out and they just started breeding really, really quickly, and it just became a problem. Tarantula. I had 2 of those. I never named them because I never saw a point. I had a Mexican red knee and a Brazilian white knee, which was quite ironic. I had both of them. But yes, I should probably start winding this down because we've had the speed round at the end now. I feel like I should probably start winding down the speed round. And I think that's been a very good solid stream for today, and it was very nice for all of you, to roll in and come start messing up my stream. But it's been very nice to speak with you all. As I say at basically every one of my streams, I don't care about if you like, subscribe, follow. I don't care. Just as long as you turn up and had some fun. And so I shall see you guys at the next stream. Goodbye.